Hey, Angie, I'm here with Angie Trevette, and she is one of the clients in our coaching program and has had great success so far. So I really wanted to take a minute, Angie, to share with our followers, like just a little bit about your story, like what happened. So will you start just by sharing like where did you how did you find me and how did you get started?
Yeah, so I have been working marketing for about 20 years, and I have some friends that are in the real estate world. So actually one of my friends that is a real estate agent found you, and she knew I was kind of looking to do something different than what I've been doing, and pointed me in your direction. So I started following your page and just reading up, on the post and, kind of like what's involved. I have no background in real estate, so I'm very green. A lot of the lingo I don't know. So yeah, once I started doing that, it interests me, and I decided to join your program. So
Awesome. And what were your goals when you entered the program? Like what were you trying to achieve?
ultimately, a secondary income, possibly even a permanent income for more time freedom to just kind of go out on my own, maybe do some other investments from this money. Um, yeah, I mean, I love what I do in marketing, but ultimately, I would love to have that time freedom
Mhm.
and work for myself, work from home.
Well, recently you had a big success. Will you share a little bit about how that happened?
Yeah, I actually had my first closing. Super excited. It netted about 70 $1,000, give or take, after closing cost. It was a little bit of a pickle. So it started out, she signed the contract with me. I started doing my due diligence. I had some drone footage done, got it listed. And then she had given me a call and basically tried to back out of the contract. However, I did want to give up, but with your coaching and the documents and letters templates you provide, I was able to get her to basically take a second thought and not back out. So once that happened, we kept moving forward. We actually found a buyer pretty quickly on this property as well. It was complete wetlands, but it would be great for like recreational and near the water. So it's a duck hunting company. So yeah, found a buyer pretty quickly and closed pretty quickly once she was back on board. So
So what scared her
up
off?
and down, but
Yeah.
she ended up signing another contract with someone back in June of last year. However, they never reached back out to her, so she had forgotten about them. So I'm assuming maybe they saw the listing or something. But I will say that they didn't really do their follow up thoroughly with the A&M and all of that. So legally, they don't think they had any rights to it, but once she received my letter just letting her know that we were under contract and she's obligated to me, and I don't know if that's maybe what changed her mind and maybe they backed out. I'm not
Mhm.
sure, but it definitely worked out in my favor.
Oh, for sure. I know a few times you thought about quitting or you were like, this isn't going to work. And you were ready to, a couple times I remember you saying, I'm just going to have to let this one go. And I was like, oh my gosh,
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
And I'm
Well,
so
just
glad you
not
didn't.
knowing, and being my first closing, I was like, oh really? But it I kept my best foot forward, put my best foot forward, kept going, and followed your coaching, and it closed. So pretty
Awesome.
exciting.
Do you mind taking a minute to share your screen and show us the property and like what some of the, what was the situation with this property? Because I mean, a lot of people see wetlands or flood zone and they're like, this is a no go. Like this is a non starter. But the truth is, there are uses for properties like that.
Yeah, I can certainly do that. Let's see. All right. Can you see my screen?
I see it now.
Perfect. So as you can see, quite a bit of farmland, agricultural, area. There are homes in the area, but it is on the coast here. So when you actually pull up the property and start doing your research, um, it is complete wetlands. And over here, it can be very mushy. So the approach to this particular parcel was definitely going to be either farming or recreational. I mean, unless someone wanted to go through the hoops with the zoning and try to see if it's buildable. But that's basically how I created my message was, recreational fishing, hunting, especially with, having this much, which is a huge parcel, 77 acres, this much property over here, as well as, the part here being, on the water, totally just yells hunting and recreational. So yeah, that's how we approached it. But
So that's like three different parcels, right?
yeah, it is three different parcels. Yeah. So the guy
Mm-hmm.
who ended up getting it is actually doing like a duck impoundment, and he did get approval through zoning to do that. So it was perfect for him. And I mean, outside of him, I mean, the property itself got so much interest. I was pleasantly surprised, just because I've had a couple other listings that have not gotten that much action, but it was
Mm-hmm.
crazy. So
Okay, awesome. Well, I'd love to see the rest of your website if you don't mind showing it. Like, how did you do the description and everything?
okay, so sure. So I'm just going to go to my home. And basically just kind of what I'm about, the available listings I have, currently, uh, what's been sold, just to kind of show reputation, and what I
Mm-hmm.
have going on. Um, and then at the top, I have a contact form that they can go and click and fill out, kind of what we're about, inventory. The inventory actually is great because it takes you directly to what's available right now.
Mm-hmm.
So currently I have a few listings here, hoping to add some more soon.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's great. And your team actually helped me do this, so it was perfect.
Okay, yeah, we helped you create the website, right? So,
Hmm.
okay, well, so that property was 77 acres. How much mail did you have to send before you got this deal?
So I did my numbers, and I've mailed about 30,000 pieces since July of last year.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so I mean, yeah, 30,000 pieces. I will say I've gotten properties under contract prior to this one, but this one came in December and then sold in February. So it turned around really quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
So 3 months, you consider 3 months pretty quickly
yeah, for sure. For sure, compared
because
to the other one I have listed that hasn't sold yet. So,
yeah,
and I think I
yeah.
got it listed in September, but
Mm-hmm.
each property is going to, have its own urgency, or I guess I'm not sure the right word to use, but how quickly it's going to sell. So.
Yeah, because each property is different. You have to look at them on a case by case. Like, how many properties did you have to go through before you found, like, I like to say I had to kiss a lot of frogs before I found my prince. How many
Yeah.
how many bad
Um,
properties did you toss aside?
oh gosh, I'd probably say a good 15 or 20. Either we couldn't come to an agreement, maybe even more than that, to be honest. I'd have to go back and count, but
Yeah.
at least a good 15 to 20 that we couldn't come up with a price, or maybe we started due diligence and the property just really wasn't valuable to us. Um, so yeah, quite a few, but I mean, my response rate's been, great. I've gotten the mean calls that come with the industry or the business. And then I've gotten ones that, like I said, want to counter, really high because they don't understand the market, even higher than, market value. So yeah.
And so that's quite a bit. That's quite a bit of mail. What kept you going? Like, did you get discouraged at any point, or how did I mean, that's a lot of mail to send. So what are the results of the mail? And then how did you stay strong and keep focused on the end goal?
Probably because I always, I had one under contract, and then I would get calls, and I actually have three that are pending right now, quiet title. They're going through a quiet title, and surveys.
Yeah.
So just the fact of having something there that's, you say, hey, I've got something, I just got to get it to that end result, is what kept me going. So I know it's
Yeah.
going to work, and I know it's going to happen. I just have to be patient and, stay above and keep going. And I know it's going to work. That's probably what made me hold on, because at the end of the day, there's a budget you have in mind to say, hey, I want to do this, but I got to stick to my budget. And then sometimes you go over that budget and you're like, oh, what am I doing? Am I making the right choices? But ultimately in the end, I felt like I definitely made the right choice and, stuck with it.
And so talk a little bit about your pipeline. Like what kind of deals do you have that you're working now and that are coming?
Yeah, so I currently have two officially listed. One is under contract. currently, that should be closing next week, pending a survey. But the survey is going, so it's happening. I've already, they've already signed the contract with me. The buyer has. So that is currently going. That's about 35,000 in profit. So I'm super excited about that. And then I do have another one that's given me a little bit harder time as far as like trying to get it sold or get interest, but I just have to find the right buyer, just because it is special property. So that's two. Then I have three more that are actually going through quiet title and another survey. So once that's done, I should be able to list those, and I'm hoping they'll sell pretty quickly just based on where they're located. So yeah, in my pipeline, I'd say five.
5 deals. And what kind of profit?
Yeah. At least 100,000 or more, total.
Okay.
I'd probably say maybe one. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, you can finish. Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say probably at least 150,000 at least.
For those 5. Okay. And that's on top of this one you just closed that's 70 and the one you're about to close for 35.
Yes.
So even though you spent a lot of money on 30,000 mailers, was it worth it?
Yes, absolutely. Just because I've spent about I'd say $32,000. But if you add up what I just gave you, which is over $200,000 in profit, what is that? It's nothing, I'm definitely making that back plus 10 times more. So
but that's so scary. Wasn't it so scary to invest that money? And do you think you would have done that if you were just working on this by yourself?
No, I wouldn't have. I probably would have given up. So it was great to have you in your program pushing me and saying, no, this is kind of the nature, of the business. Stick to it. It's going to happen. Your time's going to come. And it did. So just with my first closing, I've paid for everything I've spent.
Exactly. I love that. What advice would you have for other people who are wanting to get into this business, but just really not sure how to move forward?
Definitely, if you're looking for just some push, something that's set up for you and ready to go, to work directly with you guys and your coaching program, because I think that's what kept me going like that, coming into this world, I should say, with nothing and not knowing anything, to as much as I know now. I mean, I'm definitely not at my peak, but I feel like I know a lot and can be dangerous.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you for saying that.
Yeah. So, definitely if you need like a little bit of a push and you need some hand holding and you just want a system that's set up and can take you far, I work with you guys. I mean, that's kind of my suggestion.
Thank you. I mean, I think the key that you just said was a system, right? Because don't you feel like you can scale your business up, even though you're working a different job? You can scale your business up on the side because you can outsource and systematize it so it becomes a business, right?
Right. And the fact that you guys share your system and it's fully functional, it's, has trained individuals that know the business and know what to look out for. Even some of the questions they know to ask that I didn't know to ask, I mean, it's great. And it's been very helpful to me for sure.
That's awesome. Well, someday I hope to see you able to just, have the confidence to stop, quit your job. I know you love your job, but I know you'd also love to have some freedom, right? Some time freedom.
I do. Yes. Exactly.
To play with those kids.
Yeah, for sure. I see it in the future.
Well, so is it okay? Is it all right if I go ahead and post this into the Facebook group so other people can see what you've been able to accomplish?
Yeah, absolutely. The real deal, coming in with nothing to feeling like I know a lot more and a lot more confidence. So yeah, I definitely should.
And now that you have the system, now that you have deal flow, all you have to do is turn up the volume on your the number of offers you make, and in no time you'll be at 7 figures. Do you see a path to get to 7 figures?
Absolutely. That is on my spreadsheet that I keep to say this is, my ultimate goal. Yeah. My goal is to be here, so absolutely. I do see it.
Well, thank you for sharing your story with us. And I look forward to seeing your future success too.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay. Bye, Angie.
All right. See you later.